Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Welcome to another episode of Nufftingz Speaks with their host, Nufftingz. So, I don't want to put an intro to this one because I got to talk about some serious business here. So, I did a video on Dr. Umar Johnson, right? And I'm trying to be as respectful as I can when I speak about this guy. Now, listen, before you bite my head off, I understand what he's done for the community. I understand that, right? I'm not saying he's a bad person, but here's the problem with our culture. And here's the thing, too. A lot of you that commented really showed that y'all have no sense at all to understand, like, nobody's attacking you. If I don't agree with Dr. Umar Johnson, who I keep calling Dr. Umar Johnson with respect, I am not disrespecting the culture. But I also feel that we need to stop with the hate. And this is what I don't understand with people. Why do we have to hate the other races? And don't tell me that that's not what he's trying to do, because that's what he's trying to do. Like, it's obvious. Like, if you watch him and get your brain away from that I'm hurt nonsense, like, dude, we get it. You know, we as people have been treated terribly. Look, people see the picture of me on my thumbnail and they're like, yo, you're not black. You know, you don't have a say in this. Okay, first of all, let me explain to you. My mom is black. I was raised in a Jamaican household. I was not raised Indian. I was raised black. My family is black. So, but you see, one thing we have to talk about too is how when you're African American, you have an issue with other cultures that are black because they're not black enough. Don't tell me that's not true, because you know that's how it goes, right? If you're not American black, you're not black enough. So I guess the Canadian blacks and the Jamaican blacks and every black person from other countries that aren't raised that way, they're not black enough, right? That is the issue that's been going on for years. You know, a lot of people don't feel that you're black enough for the culture. It's like, dude, shut up. Like, how are you not black enough? Like, if you grew up black and your family is black and your bloodline is black, how are you not black? Like, even if you like white people and you side with white people, or you like Asians, you side with Asians, or you just don't care about the black culture, you're still black. So I don't understand where you're going to sit there like, no, no, no. Okay, whatever. Okay. So these people were on my thing talking about, I'm dumb because I don't like Dr. Umar Johnson. Not one of them said anything that stimulated my brain or made me think. All they said were hurtful things and were telling me stuff like, I have no say. Okay, fine. I have no say. And when I asked, what has he done? They don't have an answer. They just start name calling me. And like they start calling me names. And I'm like, dude, so that's your response? So you're trying to get at me and trying to change my mind and my viewpoint, tell me I'm wrong, but you're going to name call me at the same time? Okay. Now, the reason why I'm even talking about this is because Dr. Umar Johnson talks a lot of foolishness, talks a lot of poop, right? And we're going to sit here and pretend like he doesn't. Like, I get it. He does good things for the community. That's great. But he's also spewing hate, like I said a minute ago. You can't tell people what they're supposed to do like that. How can you, as a person, tell another man who he can have sex with? Tell me. Like, you're going to sit there and tell me, so I can sit here and tell my homies, hey, man, I don't like that white woman you're with. You need to, have sex with a black woman. I don't like the Filipino you're married to. You need to get with a black woman. Like, is that not hate? How is that not hate? And then people's argument with me is like, oh, well, I bet you that dude from the Joe Budden podcast has put money into his white woman's community. Like, dude, what is the argument here? The man fell in love with a white woman. Also, Dr. Umar Johnson was like, Eminem, and all this on Eminem and how Eminem tries to be black. When the hell has Eminem ever tried to be black? Like, I don't listen to Eminem, but I've been around when Eminem first started. He never tried to be black from what I see. Can you give me proof of this? Because I've never seen it. Like, which part of Eminem tried to be black? The dude was a skater. He dressed up like a skater. So he had the hoodie on. So what? So we have the rights to the hoodie and no one else does? So I wear a hoodie. No one tells me I'm not black enough to wear a hoodie. So tell me about that now. He wore hoodies. He wore flat shoes. Like, what were those shoes called again? Those ones that the skaters wore. Like, he wore stuff like that. I didn't see this guy rocking Jordans or anything like that, like how we do it. I just see him in Tim's. I didn't see him in any of that. So which part of him was, I didn't see him wear a wave cap. Like, I see people right now wearing do-rags and they're white. Like, who cares? I don't understand what the big deal is. Like, but anyways, moving on. So then, he keeps on every time you trying to talk to this dude. I notice that a lot of the people, when they talk to him, they get nervous. And there's all this nervous energy. And it's like, dude, if you're going to argue with this guy, with Dr. Umar Johnson, stand on business, bro. Speak to him properly. See, this is why he can't talk to me. You know what I'm saying? Because I'd have told him straight up, I'd be like, look, man, I'm not scared to talk to you, bro. Like, if you want to talk, lower your tone. That bass in your voice is not going to do anything. And see, the thing is, I'm Jamaican blood. I'm loud as hell. This is my normal voice right now. Like, I'm loud. You know what I'm saying? So you start yelling at me to get your point across because you yelling is supposed to make you right. Dude, we're fighting. Like, we're not fist fighting, but I'm arguing back. Now, mind you, the man is highly educated. No one's taking that away from him. But, you could do more with the community just being more positive. You don't have to tell people what they need to do. You just guide them in a certain way. Like, and what I mean is, look, people are like, what do you know? Telling your people to hate other races is stupid. Okay, like, let's be real here. Come on. So my homies that marry an Indian chick, they're not allowed to do that because they're black? Like, so what do you say about the people that are light-skinned? They're not black enough, right? So how do you marry that? Like, you want to keep your bloodline black, right? Okay, but there's nothing wrong with mixed breeding. There's nothing wrong with it. You'd be surprised how many families love the mixed breeding, and they love the man, because usually the man, he'll have kids with a Filipino. The Filipinos treat him like gold. They have kids with an Indian girl. The Indians treat them like gold. And I'm not talking native Indians. I'm talking like, East Indian, like from India, right? There's nothing wrong, like even the Asians, but you will get bad people from other cultures that don't like us. And it's just whatever. And I mean, let's be real here about the racism. Godfrey said it, and I've been saying it ever since. A lot of this racism isn't even towards the black women. It's towards the black men. And it's not only black people. See, that's what people don't understand. This happens with the Indians, the East Indians, the ones from India, the Pakistanis, the Asians. They love the women, but they hate the men. You know what I'm saying? And I haven't really seen many black women that are racist like that. The only thing I've heard from the black culture, from, women that I've met, and this is not even black as much, it's more Jamaican. They're not breeding with a white man. They're not going to have anything with a white man, because one of the arguments is you argue with a white man, eventually he's going to call you the N-word. And I mean, what am I going to tell them? Don't do that. Have a white man. If that's your preference, that's your preference. But a man should not tell other men who they can stick their dingling in. Like, that doesn't make any sense. It's like, but then I'm going to get a lot of hate, right? Like, oh yeah, Nufftingz. You guys know what a Nufftingz is, right? You know where that comes from, right? You know what I'm saying? Have you seen the flag that I rock on a lot of my videos? It's the Canadian, Jamaican, merged together, because I'm Canadian and Jamaican. So I merged it together because I represent both countries, right? I'm very proud of who I am. I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I'm somebody else when I'm not. This is who I am. Like, I'm proud of who I am. If you don't like it and you want to be mad at people because your parents mixed breeded and you don't like the other culture, you don't like the white side, dude, that's your business. That's your thing to deal with. I'm proud of all the mixes I have, because there's more, like I'm probably mixed like 10 different things, but be proud of this. Be proud of who you are, and don't let people that everyone seems to want to follow. Like, you know what the joke is? I'll be on TikTok And if you see, like, people will say, this dude's talking crap, and then you have like 500 messages like, no, he's right. And then they'll tell you all this bad stuff but like, why do we act like we as people haven't destroyed ourselves? Right? And I'm talking about the black culture. I'm not talking about the Indians or the Chinese or any of that. I'm talking about us. How many of us don't have daddies? Daddy just ran away, right? But we're going to sit there and judge other cultures and say, well, we're better. But yet a lot of us don't have our dads, right? A lot of us in prison. Do you know how many friends of mine that I grew up with are either dead or in prison? Like, it's a lot. And I'm not talking about other races. All the other races still alive and not in prison. But us, we're the only ones that have all this hatred. And it just spews out. Like, we do some funky stuff. You know, one of these ladies that I knew, she used to tell me that the reason why Jamaicans always get in trouble is because we're so loud. We'll do something and we're loud about it. And I mean, isn't that the whole thing with just us as in general? We're loud. You know, we're just loud people, and we bring attention to ourselves. That's why I don't like when I'm outside on road and people around me making noise, because I don't want no one to see me. I want to go where I'm going and be gone. And let's be real here about this whole criminal thing. Yes, cops are messed up, right? They do some crazy stuff. Happens out here, right? It's not like it's only in America where they're racist as hell, right? But since I stopped getting in trouble and I grew up, I've never had issue with a cop again. You know, when you're in that environment and you're just doing weird crap, usually police are on your radar. You know what I'm saying? But sometimes it's wrong. They shouldn't do it. I mean, a lot of times it's wrong. But when are we going to take responsibility for what we're doing? We don't support each other, right? We feel like if we're friends and you open up a store, you owe me some free food. You know, we're the type of people that will steal something. Well, not me. And then we'll help the person look for it. You know, like, come on. Like, are we going to sit here and pretend like we're the greatest thing on the planet and we've never done wrong? Like, so you have your leader talk about hate. Now, tell me, did Dr. Martin Luther King do that? Did he spew hate and say, we must hate everybody? I don't think so. You know, but Dr. Umar Johnson is allowed to. But yet, did you guys forget all the stuff that he's been doing in the back and things that he's promised and hasn't done yet? So how come we don't talk about that? We're not allowed to talk about that, but we can talk about everybody else. So other races can't have an opinion on us, but we can have an opinion on other races. Do you see how it doesn't make any sense? If we're going to talk about anybody else, then they're allowed to talk about us, straight up. So this whole example, like this whole thing where, oh yeah, but we had racism. Look, man, open up a book. There's been did I say racism? I'm sorry. Slavery. We've had slavery this whole time. There's been slavery from before. It was so bad in America, right? Dude, do you know that there was slavery with like every race? Like every race went through it. Like, open up a book and learn. There's been racism everywhere, right? But we're going to pretend like we're the only ones? Come on, stop it. And how long are you going to hold on to that? Forever? Like, you're just going to hold on to something that happened to your great-great-great-great-grandfathers and stuff? And grandmothers and all that? You're going to hold on to that now in 2026? That's your argument where you deserve to be treated better? I don't get it. Like, dude, every other race had racism and had slavery. How come they can move on, but we can't? Oh yes, police this, police that. Okay, whatever. But when are we gonna stop with the hate? Like, what do you mean? And before I go, him calling white women snow bunnies and all that, is that not wrong too? So the man has no respect for people that aren't black. But because he's telling y'all to follow in his stupidness, that shows that he doesn't even respect us, because he's trying to have a whole generation, a whole race fight with other ones. And that's cool. Please get out of here with that. Anyways, that's my video. So I'll see you in the next one.
Another late night chasing down the light for the crime that Nufftingz has to fight against the voices in